impact of it. Interestingly, the Law Minister also has something to say when it comes to the Supreme Court judgment, the ambit of it and the arguments that were raised. While Law Minister Kiren Rijiju has reacted to the big judgment of the Supreme Court, he has said that the Congress party's attempt to twist the issue and misinform the people is exposed. Their malicious effort to undo the legitimate action of an elected government won't succeed. He also goes on to say that Mr. P. Chidambaram has failed again, and the Law Minister then goes on to highlight some of the facts for the Congress party and the opposition. Interestingly, the Law Minister said that on most of the points, the Supreme Court has not examined any kind of impact of the decision because that is not under the ambit of the court. Now, what is the key argument essentially which the opposition is raising, like Mr. Owaisi and the Congress party, that demonetization had a very bad impact on the people of this country. Now, this particular aspect has not been examined in the court because it's a political argument to make and not a legal one. Ananya continues to be with us on the broadcast. Ananya, tell us more about the Law Minister's tweet.
Well, remember that a lot of opposition leaders are commenting on this judgment since the time it had come in today morning at 10:30 a.m. when the five judges sat and pronounced this particular order. Now, the Law Minister too has come out and has hit out at the Congress party, essentially at Mr. P. Chidambaram, who had said that though the decision of demonetization is not being questioned, but then the process by which it was brought in was the clear question. And in fact, we have seen, Anusha, when the hearing had taken place, and you would also remember when the Constitution Bench had started to hear this matter, it had already stated and clarified that it is just an academic exercise that is being carried out because the policy has already been implemented. It was in 2016 when it had implemented, and it's merely on 25th of November when the Constitution Bench actually began to hear this particular matter. So the effects of it cannot be determined at this point of time, and retrospectively also talking, it cannot be redone or undone. So it is purely an academic exercise that was carried out by the Constitution Bench of India, Constitution Bench of the Supreme Court of India. In fact, now holding that the demonetization policy, however, the Law Minister has hit out at the Congress party, saying that the Congress party and the opposition leaders are trying to misinform the people. And he says that please don't misinform our citizens, is what the Law Minister has said into his series of 5 tweets. He also says that Supreme Court would never examine a decision like the impact of a decision like demonetization. Is what the Law Minister is continuously going on and saying and countering what Mr. P. Chidambaram had said. Remember that P. Chidambaram had tweeted almost 4 to 5 tweets he had done and said that though the policy was right, the process was completely wrong. Justice B.V. Nagaratna dissent is a very, very important dissent, and would in fact, he had also said that it would go down in the history of dissents, and whenever Indian judiciary would be talked about,
you know what happens is,
Ananya,
political parties cherry pick Supreme Court judgments. If it suits their narrative, they start applauding it. If it doesn't suit their narrative, then you pick up the dissenting judgment and then you start talking about legality is often ignored in the political